you a songwriter? Are you looking to turn your songwriting passion into a full-time gig? Whether you are just at the start of your songwriting journey or a seasoned industry professional, this show is made for you. Welcome to The Songwriter Show, bringing together songwriting news, interviews, and community. Now, welcome your host, Sarantos.
Thank you so much for tuning in again tonight on Reality Radio 101, and welcome back to The Songwriter Show. I'm your humble host, Sarantos, a solo music artist who's been writing lyrics for as long as I can remember. Words just mean the absolute world to me, and that's why I love hosting this show for you every single Tuesday evening. I believe in my heart that every song is a story. Tonight, I'm so excited to have on the show Brian Ceynar. He's a lifelong country music fan, musician, and songwriter. He's been influenced by his honky-tonk heroes and early exposure to the genre. Began playing the drums at 10 and guitar and songwriting at 16, later performing for 2 decades with a Matt Engels band across multiple states.
And now, welcome this week's special guest.
Welcome to the show, Brian. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
You're welcome. You have kind of an interesting story. It sounds like you like honky-tonk, right? Am I getting that right?
I definitely do.
All right. What made you fall in love with that?
Well, before I could walk, my mom always had it playing. I remember as a kid growing up, she had one of those large furniture turntables that my dad gave her as an anniversary gift or a birthday gift many years ago. And anyway, she always was playing some classic country music.
And tell us a little bit about the genre for those of us that might not have an idea what it is that are listening. What is that?
Well, honky-tonk or classic country music is really storytelling of real life. And as a songwriter, I try to write songs about real life that have relevance over the years. You know, classic country music has usually fiddle and steel guitar, and it just tells a wonderful story. And, you know, some, just like any song, some can be sad, some can be happy. Some songs make you want to dance, some want you to drive fast.
Sure.
And sometimes they want you to just, you know, be in an old honky-tonk drinking beer, you know, as well. And like I said, I've written many songs and have many topics to choose from.
You play a few instruments, right? Which one would you say is your passion? Is it the drum, the guitar? Which one?
Well, definitely the drums. That's what I'm best known for. Yeah, I played, you mentioned the Matt Engels band, played 23 years with him, and then he retired. Now I currently play for the David Holland band, and I'm his drummer, but I'm still after Matt Engels retired 3 years ago, I've been going into the studio more and taking my songwriting more serious, and just cutting demos and trying to put my music out there for people to listen to. And I appreciate this opportunity to use your platform to help be heard.
Let's talk about your songwriting process. How does it get started for you?
Usually I get a hook or an idea with that songwriting, like maybe in conversation with a friend or someone like that. And it's just like, when I hear it, it's just like, there's a song in that phrase, you know, kind of like some of those old cliches. Or also just driving in my old pickup truck to work. I may get an idea just coming to me, and then I get that first idea, and then I create a story around it, or what I consider like a mind movie, you know, with the beginning, middle, and end, where I want to take the song.
Do you get lost when you're writing songs?
Well, no, I've been known to miss a few turns.
I get lost all the time, man, when I'm writing. I literally will look up and it's been like 3 hours.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, it's you have no idea what's going on in the real world, I think. What do you have
Absolutely.
coming out for the fans this year? Anything you want to share with us?
Yeah, well, I just released a slower ballad song, which is it's called Where Do We Go From Here? Like I said, that one was just released this past month. It's a song about a couple that comes to that fork in their relationship, whether they choose to stay in it till death do us part, or do they, move on to other things? And then this summer, I have a summertime party song called "Do It Upright." I wrote that song with a good friend of mine named Mr. Mark Hall, and looking forward to getting that one out this summer. I just
Tell us
can't
about
wait
the
for
song that
people to
we're going to
my
hear in a
music.
couple of minutes. What inspired this one? You tell us a little bit about it.
The song we're about to hear is called "Handheld Device." In today's world, everyone's got a handheld device. And the story behind the song was my wife and I were just talking at a restaurant, and I know we're not alone in this. You can go to an eating establishment and look around, and people's not in conversation like they once were a few decades ago. People were on their phones, and my wife said, "Just look, everyone's on their phones. No one's talking at all." And I said, "Boom, there's the hook right there." So that's the opening line to the song, "Handheld Devices," that everyone's on their phones and no one's talking at all. And then from there, I grew the story and say, well, what's some other handheld devices that aren't necessarily electronic? In this song, you're going to hear one of my favorite handheld devices, an old 6-foot fishing pole with the Zebco 33 reel, and just casting it out. And I remember as a youngster, my dad taking me fishing, and what a thrill that was. So a handheld device doesn't have to be plugged in, and it sure can change the way you feel. So I hope everybody likes handheld device. It also, that's the newest one, back in January. That song with NSAI, Nashville Songwriters Association International, recognized me as a songwriter as a one to watch. And that was the second song that I've received that recognition badge. So I'm very proud of it. So
Awesome.
I hope
All
you
right,
guys like
let's
handheld
take a
device.
listen, Brian, then we'll come back and talk some more, okay? All right, everybody, check this out. Here we
Sounds
go.
great.
Everyone's on their phones. No one's talking at all. That's just the world today. All we need is people turning off their screens, spending time with real friends and family. And if you ask me, it's the simple things that enhance our lives, like a different handheld device, like an old 6-foot fishing rod with a Zebco 33 reel. I may or not catch a lot, but it changes how I feel. No, you don't need to plug it in or search for Wi-Fi. Just cast it and watch your cares unwind with this handheld device. I'm a little guilty. Hey, I post things too. Seems like no one's in this crowded room. What I need is simple, less technology. It's time to charge up me. And if you turn it up, you'll see there's more to this old life with a better handheld device, like an old 6-foot fishing rod with a Zebco 33 reel. I may or not catch a lot, but it changes how I feel. No, you don't need to plug it in or search for Wi-Fi. Just cast it and watch your cares unwind with this handheld device. And head out to the country, throw a line in, take time to slow down and reel it all in, and enjoy his handheld device. Like an old 6-foot fishing rod with a Zebco 33 reel.
Well, thank you for sharing that song with us.
You're very welcome.
What do you think about country music overall? I know that it's kind of a little reawakening. It keeps expanding its horizons with, country rap. Now it's a little country rock. I mean, what do you think's going on with country music?
Well, I've been around a while. I've seen trends come and go. I am happy to say, again, I like the older country. That's my favorite. But I think there can be a mesh as far as, as long as we still have some of the newer guys like Zach Top. He's, doing a lot of the 90s country sound like Alan Jackson and George Strait did, who are a couple of my honky-tonk heroes, like I mentioned earlier. And, I think there's, as long as the song's honest, I believe it's Harlan Howard, a great songwriter, mentioned, a great country song has 3 chords and the truth. And as long as I can continue to do that, I'm happy with that.
What do you think is going to be the coolest thing that happens for all of music this year? Any suggestions?
Yeah, I think, again, I like some of the older stuff, but with the music, I hear that there may be some Merle Haggard releases that have never been heard before. Some long lost records. And I also heard that Jesse Keith Whitley had some songs of maybe his dad that he can put out there that haven't been heard yet. So I'm really looking forward to hearing those songs, and some of the collaborations that have been going on the last few years are phenomenal, mixing some of the older with the newer, mentioning, for example, Chris Stapleton, Tennessee Whiskey. I was fortunate enough to met Mr. George Jones, who originally did that. And then Chris Stapleton, he just put his own twist on it, and it turned out, it grew on me. At first I wasn't sure, but now I like it. And again, a great song. If it's about real life, it'll stand the test of time.
You reading any good books that you want to share with us?
Well, for some of you that don't know, I'm a elementary school teacher, and I just took a class a few years ago, and I reread one of the books, and it was by Dr. Ruby Payne. It was about trauma some of the kids today have. I know I've taught students over the years. This was finishing up my 29th year of teaching down at Douglas, Kansas, and anyway, kids today, they have a lot of baggage that they come to school with. And anyway, that book has really helped me relate to the students and try to unpack it in a loving way. I always try to say with kids, the main thing is they want to be noticed, they want to be valued, and they want to be loved. And I try every day at school to do that for them.
I'm sure they're very grateful and appreciative, and it sounds like you are doing a good job with that.
Thank you.
How's your songwriting changed over time? You were doing the band thing earlier, and now you're doing more your own thing. How's it changed?
Well, one, I have a little more time. Over the years, I've written, I have spiral notebook after spiral notebook of like partial songs or half-written songs. So I've been going back and looking over some of those ideas and adding to them. See, how can I either complete the song in today's time, or how can I finish that story? So I think for me, just having a little extra time, I'm able to polish up some of those old ideas and come up with something fresh and new that sounds current. And I try to do my best to blend older country as well as some of the current. I have some songs that sound more classic country. I have some songs that sound a little newer, depending on the beat or the instruments I choose to use in the studio.
How'd your first public performance go?
Great. We actually, my first public performance as a songwriter was with three friends of mine. We called ourselves the Rebel Songwriters. We played at a brewery in Marquette, Kansas a few years ago. And anyway, all of us were members of NSAI, the Nashville Songwriters Association International Group I mentioned. And we did it Nashville style, where we had 4 bar stools and, everyone took a turn, give us about 20 seconds to tell about a song that they've written, and then they would perform it. And then we went right along. So it was a sold out show. We did a couple hours, and it was a great feeling. With the band, I'm usually kind of hid in the back of the stage, behind a drum kit. And I love to play the drums, but it's a different feeling to be up front with the guitar and a microphone. I think, I was pretty vulnerable to be up there going over songs that I've written. I've heard songwriters refer to them as those songs where they're like their children or their babies. And because you're opening yourself up, and you just hope, the audience will like it. And again, as long as I write about real life, I've been well received and I'm very blessed.
Listen, you just have to be doing this long enough, like I have, where when people don't like it, you just kind of move on to the next thing.
Right, yeah.
And let it slide off you, and you just put out something new and let them forget about the old shit they hated.
Exactly. Yeah. They don't like that one. Maybe I got another one in my bag of tricks.
That's all right. What's the longest amount of time you worked on any single one song?
Ooh, boy, that's a great question. I'd have to say, well, this song coming out this summer, I bet it was probably a good 15 years in the sense that I had the first verse and chorus. My buddy Mark and I did. We were old high school buddies and played this verse and chorus over and over called Do It Upright. Again, it was in one of my spiral notebooks. One nice thing about being an elementary school teacher, you do get summers off if you're not taking college classes. And this particular summer I had off. And I love the idea of the song, a summertime party song about, partying on a gravel road, And anyway, that song over and over went over the verse and the chorus. I kept thinking, okay, I want to finish and complete this song. And then it took about 24 hours. After going 15 years, just my focus. And I guess that song, it was the right time. Up until then, it wasn't the right time. But then I was able to finish it, and it turned out really well. My buddy Mark and I were really excited to put it out there on Spotify this summer.
Tell us about where can fans find your stuff, listen to your music, buy it, stream it.
Okay, yeah. What I have right now, the songs, they can find it on all the streaming sites like Spotify, iHeart Radio, YouTube Music. They can just Google my name, Brian Ceynar, and that's Brian with an I, and last name is Ceynar. And I know it's a tricky spelling, but it's pronounced Ceynar. You're doing a great job saying it, Sarantos. I appreciate that. But yeah, they can just Google it, and it immediately starts popping up. They can also find me on Facebook. Yeah, everyone like and share and tell your friends and help me get my music out there. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Last question before I let you go. Favorite artist of the last decade?
Oh, the last decade.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I'd have to say right now, Zach Top, just because he's bringing country music back. But, yeah, boy, I'm one, I like the traditional, and I do like what he and Jake Worthington are bringing to the table.
Awesome. All right. I want to thank you, Brian, for being on the show tonight, man.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. And to all the fans out there, thank you for spending a little bit of your oh-so-precious time with the two of us tonight. We appreciate it, and we hope that your unique story gets heard around the world, too. We hope you'll join us every single Tuesday evening on Reality Radio 101 as we continue uncovering these inspiring journeys behind everyone's music. Keep creating and connecting and letting all of our stories be heard. And keep writing. I'll see you next week. I love you all.
out here. Worry falls away, and it's okay. It's okay to take up space, let it go. Real slow, real slow. Then you can run on, run as fast as you want. In the sun, run, hang on, and have fun, fun. Like a river yellow and an ocean of white. We fit so well together with the mellow vibe. Through the rain you shine, singing yellow day and night. Oh, your love burns bright, never hide. You live your life, making everything alright. My pretty little sunflower. Life's just different around you. A sun-kissed breeze slides across my cheek. You set me free, and anytime I'm broken, you give me hope. With arms wide open, you're all I need. Like a river yellow and an ocean of white. We fit so well together with the mellow vibe. Through the rain you shine, singing yellow day and night. Oh, your love burns bright, never hide. You live your life, making everything alright. My sunflower, you're smiling in the rain, standing tall through it all. Through the rain you shine, singing yellow day and night. Your light burns bright, you never hide. You live your life, making everything all alright. My pretty little sunflower. Yeah, my pretty little sunflower. You're the best part of my day. Yeah.
Thank you for listening to The Songwriter Show. To keep the momentum going, head over to www.songwritershow.com and join our free music community of artists, songwriters, and producers. That's www.songwritershow.com.